Good day everyone, I'm Tamboboy. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to talk about handling tantrums, fussing and whining, and other behavior problems. After this lesson, you will be able to know how to deal tantrums, fussing and whining, and other problems behavior. To discover why tantrums happen and ways how to make it less likely happen. Also, to find out the things on how tantrums can be prevented and determine the ways on how to stop child's whining. And lastly, you will be able to know things that causes the children to get fussing and whining. First, we will know about what tantrum is. Tantrum is an emotional outburst usually associated with children or those in emotional that is typically characterized by stubbornness, crying, screaming, violence, defiance, angry, ranting, a resistance to attempts at pacification, and in some cases, hitting and other physical violent behavior. Also, tantrums comes in all shapes. They can involve spectacular explosion of anger, frustration, and disorganized behavior when your child loses it. You might see crying, screaming, stiffening limbs, and arc back, kicking, falling down, flailing about, or running away. So, in early childhood, tantrums are one of the most common forms of problematic behavior in young children, but tend to decrease in frequency and intensity as a child grows older. For toddler, tantrums can be considered as normal, even as gauges of developing strength disorder. In intellectual disabilities, tantrums, some people who have neurological disorders such as autism, ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and an intellectual disability could be more vulnerable to tantrums than others. So, that's it, diba? In intellectual disabilities, mostly tantrums happen because those who have problems in their mind cannot control their emotions. In later life, tantrums are shown by older people. They might often be sign of immaturity and a mental disability. However, many people can have them under extreme stress. So, when we talk about handling tantrums, fussing and whining, there are ways how do parents deal with them. First, controlling their emotions. Most often, this behavior are caused by a child's inability to express or control his emotion. Second, handling tantrums, fussing, and whining. No matter how diligent you are in recognizing trigger causes, your child will still have meltdown moments. Third, offer choices. You may be able to avoid problems by giving your child more of a say in his life. You can do this by offering choices. Instead of saying, "Get ready for bed right now," which may provoke a tantrum, offer a choice. What would you like to do first? Put on your pajamas or brush your teeth? Children who are busy deciding things are often busy. Next, get an eye to eye. In this case, when you make a request from a distance, your child will likely ignore you. Non-compliance creates stress, which leads to fussing and tantrums from both of you. Instead, get down to your child level, look him in the eye, and make clear, concise requests. This will catch his full attention. Next, tell him what you do want. Instead of focusing on misbehavior and what you don't want him to do, explain exactly what you'd like your child to do or say instead. Give him simple instruction to follow. Validate his feelings. Help your child identify and understand her emotions. Give words to her feelings. You're sad, you want to stay here and play. I know. This doesn't mean you must give in her request, but letting her know that you understand her problem may be enough to help her calm down. Next, teach the quiet bunny. When children get worked up, their psychological symptoms keep them in an agitated state. You can teach your child how to relax and then use his approach when fussing begins. Next, distract and involve. Children can easily be distracted when a new activity is suggested. So if your child is whining or fussing, try viewing it as an activity that your child is engaged in. Next, involve his imagination. If a child is upset about something, it can help to vocalize his fantasy of what he wishes would happen. Next, use the preventive approach. Review desired behavior prior to leaving the house or when entering a public building or before you begin a play date. Lastly, when it's over, it's over. After an episode of misbehavior is finished, you can let it go and move on. So, if you can ask why tantrum happens and what are the things that can make it less likely to happen? Well, tantrums are very common in children 1 to 3 years. This is because children's social and emotional skills are only just starting to develop at this age. So tantrums are one of the ways that young children express and manage feelings and try to understand or change what's going on around them. Older children can have tantrums too. This can be because they haven't learned more appropriate ways to express or manage feelings. So, the things that can make tantrums likely to happen are temperament. In this case, this influences how quickly and strongly children react to this, like frustrating events. Children who get upset and easily might be more likely to have tantrums. Second, stress, anger, tiredness, and overstimulation. This can make it harder for children to express and manage feelings and behavior. Third, situation that children just can't cope with. For example, a toddler might have trouble coping if an older child takes a toy away. Lastly, strong emotions. Worry, fear, shame, and anger can be overwhelming for children. That's why tantrums happen, right? So, what to do about tantrums? In handling tantrums, there are a lot of things we can do. First, we need to reduce stress. Our tiredness, hunger, and overstimulated children are more likely to experience tantrums. Next, tune into your child's feelings. Next, identify tantrum triggers. For example, your child might have tantrums when you're shopping. You might be able to plan ahead or change the environment. Sometimes, tantrums happen no matter what you do to avoid them. Here are some ideas to handle tantrums when they happen. Stay calm or pretend to. Take a moment of yourself if you need to. If you get angry, I'll make the situation harder for both you and your child. If you need to speak at all, keep your voice calm and level and act deliberately and slowly. Next, acknowledge your child's difficult feelings. For example, it's very upsetting when your ice cream falls out of cone, isn't it? This can prevent behavior getting more out of control and gives your child a chance to reset emotions. Third, wait out the tantrum. So you must let it out. Stay close to your child so she knows you're there, but don't try to reason with her or distract her. It's too late once a tantrum has started. Take a change when you need to. If the tantrum happens because your child wants something, don't give him what he wants. If your child doesn't want to do something, use your judgment. For example, if your child doesn't want to get out of the bath, it might be safer to pull out the plug than to let him out. Next, be consistent and calm in your approach. If you sometimes give your child what she wants when she has tantrums, and you sometimes don't, the problem could get worse. Talk about emotions with your child. When your child struggles with a difficult feeling, encourage him to name the feeling and what caused it. So, if you're gonna ask also if tantrums can be prevented, there might be no foolproof way to prevent tantrums, but there's a plenty you can do to encourage your child in good behavior. First, be consistent. Plan ahead. Encourage your child to use words. Let your child make choices. Praise God, good behavior. Avoid situations likely to trigger tantrums. And if you're a little bit confused if child's whining can break or we can stop it, well, there are 4 ways how to break it. First, refuse to let it bother you. In this case, pick a quiet time and tell your child that there's a new rule. If he whines, you won't respond. From then on, whenever he whines, keep your facial expressions absolutely neutral. Second, make sure your child knows what asking nicely means. For example, she might not even realize she's whining, or she may not truly understand what the word means. The best way to explain it is to tape record both her whining and pleasant voices and then play them back for her. Third, give praise where praise is due. Parents always point out that's not a nice voice, but often don't provide enough positive reinforcement. And lastly, hang in there. Many parents say, I tried it yesterday and it didn't help. But think of changing one of your own habits. It won't happen overnight. And what about fussy or irritated or irritable child? Being fussy is normal for children to get fussy or whining sometimes. But there are a lot of reasons why children get fussy. First, he or she might lack of sleep, hunger, frustration, fight with a sibling, being too hot or too cold. Also, your child may be worried about something. Ask yourself if there has been stress, sadness, or anger in your home. Young children are sensitive to stress at home and to the mood of their parents, caregivers. So, many common childhood illness can cause a child to be fussy. Most illnesses are easily treated. They can include ear infection, teething or toothache, cold or flu, bladder infection, stomach pain or stomach flu, headache, constipation, pinworm, poor sleep patterns. And there are also things that your child's fussiness may be an early sign of more serious problems, such as diabetes, asthma, anemia, serious infection, head injuries, hearing or speech, autism, depression, or other mental health problems, and pain such as headache or stomach ache. I know it's not easy to handle the tantrums and fussing and whining, but I believe that we and parents can lessen the habit and stop those behavior. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope you enjoy and learn. God bless.